Hi, my name is Angie, and we're here today talking with Gary Stewart, facilitator for family constellation work. Gary, we talked about a lot of wonderful, insightful things today. I have one final question.
Sure.
What happens when someone has done some work?
Yes.
It could be one session or more, but they are now in order in their family system, and this order of love has been restored
Yes.
and accepted. Can you give us some ideas of what happens to that person or what can happen?
Yes. Well, number one, they're in their humble place as being smallest, newest person in the family system. But the great thing that happens is they feel much better. Their life is going to start working for them, not against them, because they're not going against the grain, they're going with it. The flow of life flows forward, and we're not being too big judging it. It just flows much smoother for us. We should have fewer problems. Knowing that we can hold any stories or untruthful, protective things that were said by our ancestry. So if we pierce that veil and we find out it was a lie and what's black is white and what's white is black, there's a release of energy of that, and we don't have to carry the guilt and shame over the story. A lot, there's an event that happened, we create a story, then there's guilt and shame, which is actually the invisible dynamic because the story is a lie. And everyone knows it, so the invisible dynamic becomes the guilt and shame over lying about something that was true. So there's a whole other story there. But just letting that go as it is creates peace, harmony, and order. Order is restored. So even when this happens in a therapeutic session, like a workshop, the representative ancestors all feel a sense of peace. We know we're done when our representatives feel peaceful. There's nothing agitating them. We always know when the right place to stop is. Sometimes there's a little something we got to fix or work with to get them to a sense of peace, and that's fine. We do that. But generally there's a sense of peace that overcomes the room. We know that everyone's resting in their proper place, one with the victims, whatever the case might be, and they relax because there's peace and harmony again. And that's why we're doing the work, to restore peace, harmony, and order in the individual and in the collective family, and for our whole human family, which we need at this point in time. And then we can be fully present and make our dreams come true. We only have this much time in the sun here, and our ancestors know how short it is. We think we have a lifetime, could get snuffed out like that, and 20 years goes by like that. And if we're wasting our time suffering for someone else's life, we're not making our dreams come true this lifetime. So our ancestors do want the best for us, and in constellations we find that the dead support the living. Just like we're supporting the dead by trying to have a good life for them or carrying on their life force in our own body with our shared DNA. And that's another aspect of it. Do we really own our DNA? Let's take it to another level here where we're going. Do we own our DNA, or are we sharing our DNA?
Interesting.
Now there's an invisible dynamic.
Interesting. There are so many reasons
Absolutely.
and so many benefits to do this work, to have a session, or to come in even and observe a session.
Yes, absolutely.
That you are going to be affected, as well as your family system will be affected. And that's just the case. That's just
Absolutely.
the reality of the work we're doing.
Absolutely.
Gary, is there anything else?
Yeah, there was something else. I think we got a couple
here?
minutes to cover it here. Yeah. It's the best way to honor those who came before is just to accept Bert. I just finished my training last December with Bert, and his latest awareness of the order of love is to be in complete acceptance with everything as it is. So if we're bigger than life and we criticize life as good or bad, we're doing the same damage being out of order as if we did it for an ancestor. So life is going to say, oh, it's almost like the Wizard of Oz, oh, Scarecrow, you want fire? I'll give you fire. You think, I'll show you what fire is. So why judge it? So try not to judge life as good or bad, but be neutral about it as we have our experience in life. Then we're in harmony with life as it moves forward. And can we also at the same time honor life as a gift, no matter how it was given? We have an abusive childhood. We were raked over the coals. Can we still view life as good regardless? And when we can get to that place of deep acceptance without forgiveness, just accepting life as it is, then we're free on multiple levels at the same time. And we're not judging life's challenges as good or bad. No guilt is necessary. No shame is necessary. It almost like opens up life's floodgates for us just to float down the river with a good conscience and just free of any entanglements or negativity. And God forbid that we're alive to be happy.
And free.
And free. Happiness and freedom. Isn't that what our ancestors wanted? Isn't that what we essentially want? It's quite simple, actually. People alive want to be happy and free. In any country. In any generation. And that's the place we try to get to with constellation work. We unentangle all the baggage. We leave it with the ancestors or ancient history of humanity. We leave the Holocaust issues with those people or representatives who represented the Holocaust for us. We leave the fate of the indigenous people with the indigenous people that our conquistador ancestors killed. And we are free, full of love, in the present moment, with gratitude and acceptance that this is the wheel of life and we are now in it, without judgment and complete acceptance for it. How we didn't invent the wheel of life, we're participating in the wheel of life and a shared experience, just like our ancestors. So we're all one and the same, really.
Really, so many reasons to come and see a session done. There's only benefit.
Yes.
You can only benefit from this work.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Gary.
Oh, my pleasure entirely.
Once again, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Namaste.